Hi there. Good morning, everybody. My name is Pallas Dame. I am an Integrative Energy Medicine practitioner. I'm also the CEO of Authority Establishment and the founder of the Conscious Leadership Network. Today, I am stopping by to talk about something that I find really profound and important called heart coherence, and how important that heart coherence is in all relationships, in our personal relationships, in our business relationships, in how we interact in the world as one-on-one, in a community, as a country, as a world. So let me give you a deep dive into what heart coherence actually is. So if we go back to 9/11, that devastating day all those years ago, there was an organization called the Heart Math organization, and the Heart Math Institute, actually. And excuse me, at that time, what they had going on all around the world is they had computers set up all around the world, and each computer was set to basically go serial numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then repeat. And what they were connected to was the actual frequency, the energetic frequency, the EMF frequency of the heart. All hearts have an actual EMF frequency that radiates around, is it approximately 8 feet-ish or so? And again, they had these computers set up all over the world. When 9/11 happened and the Twin Towers were hit, and this started being broadcast all over the world, these serial number generators started spitting out random numbers, 2, 8, 9, 4, 3, 2, 0, 9, whatever, all over. This serial number generator, computers all over the world, all of them freaked out all at the same time when 9/11 happened. But what that was reflecting back from this international study was that the frequency of the human heart, as people were impacted by what they were seeing happening in the US, it was an international heartbreak all at the same time. Because what that was measuring was the actual frequencies that were emitted from the human heart. So when 9/11 happened, the entire world's heart broke at the same time. And so if you think about that from an individual perspective, from heart coherence, what heart coherence actually is. Heart coherence is the way our heart speaks. It is the language of the heart. The heart frequency, if we're talking, energetically measurable frequency, the heart frequency, when in balance, is the exact same frequency of energy that's emitted from the earth. And so when the human heart is in alignment, when we are balanced as individuals, then our heart frequency is in alignment with the earth's frequency. However, when the frequency of our heart shifts, and you can think of, so when the frequency of the heart shifts, then our hearts are no longer in alignment with the earth's same frequency. Now, if we're looking at that from a pure physics perspective, let me try to explain frequency so that it doesn't sound like some way out there, crazy kind of concept. A rock, for example, a rock has a specific frequency. It has a specific vibration that holds the rock together. The rock, with that frequency, it maintains a certain level of integrity and density. Now, say that we want to go and we want to break that rock. So we'll go and get a hammer, a sledgehammer, whatever, and we start hitting the rock. We hit it and hit it and hit it until finally the rock shatters. Now, what has happened, it's not the fact that the hammer was hitting the rock itself, in and of it being the hammer, that caused the rock to fracture. What caused the rock to fracture was the frequency shift, the change of the vibration that the impact of the hammer had on the rock. And when that vibration went out of integrity from the natural frequency of what was holding that rock together, when that frequency shifted, then that rock broke, then it fractured, it fell apart, right? And so when we're thinking about the frequency of the heart coherence, our heart is held integrity by a very distinct frequency. And that frequency, when measured, is the exact same frequency as the Earth. We are in alignment with our planet. Our planet is a living, breathing thing, right? And so if we step back from that and we start thinking about how do we relate with other people? How do we create alliances? How do we create romantic connections? How do we create friends or connect with friends, I should say, not necessarily create? It's that we have very distinct frequencies that we emit as beings on this planet. The human body is constructed foundationally of water, salt, and electricity. And in order for these components to stay together, we have to have an energetic frequency that keeps us in integrity. It keeps us fully in integrity, right? And so when we are connecting with other individuals, there is a true alignment, a true frequency of what we're emitting that is either draws us in or is repelling. And we think back to the rock. The rock stayed in integrity when it was a rock, but when it started being impacted by a different frequency and a different vibration, it broke apart. So when we are connecting with other individuals, people are in their own state of awareness, their own state of balance, their own state of trauma, their own state of confusion, abundance, lack, whatever it is, right? But unless we're in a full-on state of love and balance, our hearts are moving out of sync, out of the natural vibration that they should be. Now, another example of how our hearts, the impact of our hearts, it's so powerful. There's been experiments done by the HeartMath Institute where there's a big open room, pitch black, and there's a mouse in the room. And they have a human walk into the room. And the mouse is silent, can't hear anything, it's a big room. Now, the human's ears and eyes do not pick up that there's another living being in that room. But the heart frequency, the heart resonance picks up another heartbeat in the room before any of our normal sensory abilities kick in. Our heart will pick up the beating heart of a mouse in a big room, dark room, you don't even see it, before any of our other senses are aware that there's another living being in there. So when we are walking through life, when we're connecting with others, our connection doesn't happen first with our eyes. It doesn't happen first with our mind. It doesn't happen first with any of the normal physical attributes that have been thought to lead with the human experience. Our connection with other humans happens first by the literal connection of our heart frequency to another beating heart in proximity, in our orbit around us. And our first connection with any other humans is our heart is reading the information that is being projected from that other person. And when they're in integrity, when they're in alignment, when their pattern, whether it's in a state of love, whether it's in a state of distress, there's pattern matching that happens. And the closer that our patterns match, the easier it is for us to connect with that other person. We pick up on them, we read them. There's intuition involved in that. And it's a very profound way of connecting with other people. Now, to kind of bring a bigger reference point to how important heart coherence is, we'll go back to the HeartMath Institute. And what the HeartMath Institute has been working on in recent years now, since 9/11, they've up-leveled it to a whole nother place. The HeartMath Institute has put up satellites all around the planet. And what these satellites are doing, the satellites are measuring heart frequency of humans. They're measuring heart frequency of animals, the coherence, the heart coherence. They're looking at how do animal patterns shift when they're underneath power lines, which are very, very strong energetic frequencies. It's electricity. And they're looking to see, how does the heart coherence of communities, of cities, states, of nations ebb and flow really according to what's going on in the world. But the bigger picture of what the Heart Math Institute is looking at is the frequency of our hearts, because it's a known, measurable thing that is when in alignment, is the same as the Earth's frequency, right? When the Earth's frequency is in alignment with our hearts, we're balanced. What the Heart Math Institute is looking at is they're looking at the actual impact of the human heart frequency being out of coherence and how that impacts natural systems in the world, how that impacts weather, how that impacts droughts, how that impacts global warming, and how our relationships to one another and the disparities that we have going on, and the anger and the wars and the red and the blue, and you're not like me and I'm not like you, how all of this stuff is putting the human condition, the human heart frequency, completely out of alignment with the planet on where we live, and the impact on how that is changing the natural systems and dynamics of our world. Truly impacting global warming, and the research that they are gaining, the insight and information that they have about the human condition and how deeply integrated that we are with everything around us. Even though humans have done their damnedest to separate ourselves from nature, animals are animals and humans are humans. We can live in a city and it doesn't matter what's happening in the Amazon. The fact remains that no matter where we live, no matter what we're doing, that if we're not living in integrity, what is being proven on the side of the Heart Math Institute is that we are directly impacted and impacting and integrated with the entire dynamic systems of everything that we look at around us as life, of our home, of the weather, of the mountains, of the oceans, of the tides. It's very, very profound. That's the big picture of what heart coherence is. And then if you step back into your normal everyday life and you start looking at the challenges that you have with your family, with your partner, with your friends, with the things that are going on, humanity right now is tapped into, not everybody, but overall, a frequency that makes no sense, that is out of integrity with what we are as living beings. Again, going back to the rock, you hit that rock hard enough, you change its frequency, it breaks. The anger, the disparity, the wars, the stuff, the total and utter crap that we're stuck in this part of our evolution is tearing apart the human condition. And when our human condition is deteriorating, our heart frequency isn't in alignment, isn't in balance, because again, the heart frequency, one in balance, is exactly the same as the Earth's frequency. Then how are we going to be in alignment with one another? How are we going to be able to create alliances with one another? How are we going to be able to have strong relationships with one another when we can't even be in a place of integrity within ourselves? We're that rock. We keep getting hit over and over again with that hammer, and we're starting to fracture here and there, little pieces. So what do we do about that? What we do about that is that we choose the option that there's more out there. We choose the option that, or the knowledge that doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. And why do we keep doing the same thing over and over again if it's not working? If we're getting sicker and sicker, if our relationships are deteriorating more and more over time? Like, whether or not you can totally grasp the concept of the impact of heart coherence on the planet, and you step back and you look at yourself every day in your everyday life, and are you living in integrity with yourself and the impact that that has on anybody that's in your orbit? Like, what can you do for yourself? What are you doing every day that is producing the same result, that it's not getting you where you want to go, right? So what can we do? It's actively going inwards and connecting with the conscious being that we are and creating awareness, creating space in ourselves, creating active awareness, active consciousness, conscious awareness that we are so much more than human beings walking around bungling up the world. What we are is we are so much more than that. We are spiritual beings. We are energetic beings having a human experience. And our energetic frequencies are getting distorted because of the belief systems that we have about one another, about the disparities and the separation and the isolation that we have from one another. What can you do? You can choose to start looking for the abundance in your life, having gratitude practices every day, working on shifting the lenses that you're wearing on your glasses. For those of us that wear glasses, you go to the eye doctor every year, and for many of us, we have to get new lenses every year to 2 years because our vision changes. Think about how you're looking out at the world, right? Maybe your lenses are the wrong prescription for you now. And the only way that you're going to know that your lenses are the wrong prescription, metaphorically, is if you literally start creating a gratitude practice in your life, connecting to your heart. Do the heart gratitude, do the gratitude practice, connect with your heart. What do you feel? What is that experience of your heart? And where do you want to take that? Do you feel good? Do you feel bad? Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel like you're bringing in more abundance? And I'm not even saying a meditation practice. I'm saying a gratitude practice. Because when you implement a gratitude practice into your day, every morning, every night, that over the course of a month, your lenses are going to start shifting. And when you are seeing negativity, when you're seeing so much disparity, your framework for what is real and right and true is going to start shifting for you. And as your framework starts shifting, that there is abundance out there in this crazy world, media-driven world, that we are not isolated, that we are connected, that we do have autonomy and authority over how we feel and show up in the world, that we have not been in integrity, that we can come back into integrity, that as we shift that mindset, as we shift that actual spiritual energetic interaction with the world, and we start allowing in the abundance that before has been blocked, then the natural state of affairs is that our hearts are going to start balancing back to center. And the frequency of how we've been so out of alignment with our planet, out of alignment with ourselves, again, that rock getting hit over and over again with that hammer, you take in that media, you take in those caustic relationships, you take in the fear, you take in the stuff that makes you uncomfortable. And it's a choice whether to do that or not for most of it. If you start bringing in gratitude, you start bringing in beauty, you start bringing in love, and you start allowing that to fill you up, then the natural state of your being is going to gravitate towards balance and towards integrity and towards alignment. Because our bodies are not designed to break. Our bodies are not designed to be in a place of distress and dis-ease. They're meant to be in a state of abundance and love and connection with ourselves, with one another. Remember that mouse in the room, the heart picks up the mouse's heartbeat before any of our senses ever pick it up. When our hearts are coming back online, really back online, and the hearts of others start coming back online, then there's a whole new dialogue that happens that doesn't even require speech. That's what we can do. So there's a deep dive into heart coherence for you. And if you guys have other questions, other ideas, if you want to go deeper about heart coherence, look up the Heart Math Institute. It's an amazing, profound organization. And if you guys want to go deeper with these kind of conversations, you can join me in the Conscious Leadership Network. This network is a space that's designed for change makers, for disruptors, for thought leaders, for practitioners who want to bring people together and create awareness, a greater awareness that there's more. And it's a space for seekers, people that are on their journey, people that are exploring, people that are interested and curious to come in and see what's going on. Because again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and never getting different results. And the Conscious Leadership Network is a space that's designed to come in and create awareness about so many other things, about the way the world works, about who we are and what we are, different kinds of people, different types of connections, and raising our own conscious awareness. So thank you guys for joining today. Be sure to like, hit the bell, follow us on Facebook, wherever you're at, connect with us, and you can look up the Conscious Leadership Network. Join us over there. So it's community.consciousleadershipnetwork.org. It's free. Come in and join us, see what's going on. Find me, Pallas Dame. Love to talk to you, and hope to see you guys in there. Thanks for joining today. Hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and check in with your heart and see what kind of gratitude